Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Well, I did to fellow teachers and students who are with me today. I am CIKGU ROHANI from Sekolah Menengah Sains TUANKU PUTRA. Okay. So today I will doing English language with the title which is which. Then we are going to go on with the. We are going to start our class today with the doa recitation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم أغننا بالعلم وزينا بالحلم وأكرمنا بالتقوى وجملنا بالعافية يا رحمن يا رحيم kami mohon kepadamu dengan segala kerendahan diri sebagai hamba-Mu. Engkau indahkanlah akhlak kami. Engkau perbaikilah pergaulan antara kami. Engkau jadikanlah kami umat Islam yang menjadi teladan yang baik antara sekalian manusia. Engkau peliharalah kami dari penyakit lemah, malas, berfikiran dangkal dan buruk budi pekerti. Ya Rahman, Ya Wadud, Engkau baikilah keluarga kami, anak isteri kami, saudara mara kami, jiran tetangga kami dan seluruh mereka yang kami kasihi. Engkau jadikanlah kami umat yang mempunyai ketinggian akal dan budi, mempunyai minda yang unggul dalam menguruskan kehidupan ini dan menjadi teladan yang baik kepada manusia yang lain. Ya Allah, jadikanlah negeri Perlis ini sebagai negeri yang makmur, rakyatnya hebat, mantap, bermentaliti kelas pertama dalam tindakan, hidup bersih, bersatu padu dan dilimpahi berkat serta rahmat dari sisi-Mu. Engkau jauhkanlah kami dari bala dan kerosakan. Engkau tambahkanlah nikmat-Mu kepada kami. Engkau berikanlah kepada kami kebahagiaan hidup di dunia dan di hari akhirat. Ya Mujibas Sa'ilin, permudahkanlah urusan kami dalam menimba ilmu pengetahuan. Lapangkanlah dada dan terangkanlah hati kami untuk memahami isi pengajaran. Hiasilah diri kami dengan adab kesopanan. Muliakanlah kami dengan ketakwaan. Segarkanlah badan kami dengan kesihatan yang berpanjangan. Dan berkatilah hidup kami dengan keridaan-Mu. Allahumma inna na'udzu bika minal barasi wal jununi wal judham wa min sayyi'il asqam. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Okay, Alhamdulillah, Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, this is the link for your attendance today, for your penyertaan today. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to fill up the form.
Bring your A-game.
Dunia pendidikan sudah berubah. Semuanya sudah berbeza. Kita tidak lagi boleh gunakan cara lama. Snap telah merupakan satu game changer. Pengajaran dan pembelajaran akan menjadi lebih menarik.
Setakat ini, Snap telah diperkenalkan di Sekolah Tuanku Abdul Rahman Ipoh, Kolej Yayasan Saad Melaka, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tapa dan sekolah-sekolah di negeri Perlis. Analisis penggunaan menunjukkan peningkatan dalam peratusan murid menghantar tugasan sebanyak 76%. Tinjauan kami juga mendapati 80% guru dan murid bersetuju bahawa proses pengurusan tugasan sekolah menjadi lebih mudah dengan Snap.
Mudahnya guna Snap. Saya boleh bagi homework, marking, semua dalam Snap je. Siap pada rekod dan analisis. Mudah saya nak pantau tugasan murid. Technical support pun ada kalau saya perlukan bantuan.
Based on my experience, Snap is the coolest app I've ever seen. We can play games while learning new things and even send our works with just a few clicks. In short, Snap makes my life easier.
Kelebihan menggunakan Snap, langganan percuma, integrasi dengan Google Classroom, rekod dan analisis pencapaian, perincian gamifikasi, program ganjaran serta 50% pendapatan hasil iklan akan disalurkan kepada pihak sekolah. Anda berminat? IDRIS sedia membantu. Snap, bring your A game.
Okay, we are back. Alright, now on the screen, you can see the topic for today, which I have chosen. But before that, I just would like to give a bit of information because actually what I'm going to do today, it will be more for students who are less proficient in English. So those who are already good in English or who are already very proficient in English might feel or might find that this lesson might not be that interesting. Okay, but anyhow, I welcome every one of you to be in my class, whether you are proficient or less proficient. For the less proficient, I'm really hoping that you can learn something from my class, and then for the more proficient, maybe this can be some kind of revision to all of you. Okay, all right. My topic here, which is which? Okay, from the topic here, can you guess what am I going to talk about today? Can you sort of guess which is which? Okay, which is which? It's a bit catchy. Okay, so can you guess? Okay. All right. Before I answer that question, okay, the question that I have posted just now. So let us look at these a few words that I've on the screen here. We have words like terrible, gracious, picturesque, jovial, excellent, stingy, aesthetic, strong, bold. Okay, so these are the, so can you guess? What are the words? What are, these are the words. So under which part of speech do these words come from? Can you guess? Okay, yes, they are adjectives. Okay, they are adjectives that we usually find in sentences. Okay, and we usually find, where do we usually find these adjectives in a sentence? Yes, before a noun. Usually we find it before a noun because adjective actually is modifies a noun. It tells you more about a particular noun. For example, terrible. You can say terrible weather. Jovial person. Excellent result. Stingy person. Strong door. Okay, bold soldiers. Okay, so these are the some of the adjectives, and adjective used to modify noun. So these are the normal or the common adjective that we usually find. Okay, now these words. We have terrified. We have terrifying. Amuse, amusing. Satisfied, satisfying. Captivated, captivating. Right? So what are these? What are these? Okay, are they verbs? Are they verbs? Because we have the word, we have the ed, terrified, we have the ed and the n, and then terrifying with the ing. Are they verbs? Okay, so it depends on how we are going to use it in the sentence. But today, I would like to tell you that these words, okay, these words are also considered as adjectives. On how you use it in your sentence. These are also considered adjectives. All right. So, like I said just now, an adjective is a word that modifies a noun or noun phrase or describe its reference. This is the basic definition of adjective. It modifies noun. So any word or phrase that modifies a noun, we consider that as an adjective. Okay, picturesque. Picturesque scene. Okay. Okay, boring. Boring books. Annoyed person, maybe. So you can see here what I've shown on the screen. There are two types of adjectives here. The one with the ed, with the ing, and then the common adjectives. Okay. So I guess we can go back to my question just now. Which is which? Okay. So actually, what I'm going to talk about today is which, because now we are talking about I'm going to concentrate on the adjective with the ed and the ing, because this is, I feel that this is one of the area in adjective that many students, okay, especially the less proficient student, that they have problems to understand whether they want to use the ed or the ing for when they want to describe a particular noun. So that's why, or that's how my topic for today came about. Is which is a which, meaning that which one they're going to use, whether you want to use the ed or you're going to the ing. So for today, I'm going to say it again. I would like to focus on adjective with the ed and the ing form. I'm not going to talk about the common adjective, okay, the one that I've shown you earlier, gracious, jovial, because that one you can because that one is a matter of your vocabulary. You can you can easily use it in a sentence. You don't really get confused with that kind of adjective. Okay, but many students, like I said just now, especially the less proficient student, they might have problem with the ed and the ing adjective. Okay. Okay. There are many English adjectives that have two forms. Okay, I said here, that ends in ed and that ends in the ing. Okay. All right. So many English adjectives are made by adding ed or ing to a verb. So where does these words come from? Okay, the words come from I mean, how do we form this particular adjective? Usually it comes from verb. Okay, so like example here, we have frustrate. Okay, frustrate is a verb. Okay, frustrate is a verb. But when you add the ed, okay, when you add the ed, okay, or the ing, okay, it becomes adjectives. Both are adjective. Frustrated is adjective. Frustrating is also adjective. But how do we use them? That's a problem. Okay, how do we use them? Can we just use it interchangeably? Meaning that rasa you feel like you want to use frustrated, or you use frustrated. You feel that you want to use frustrating, you use frustrating. Is that the case? Okay, so today, this is what I'm going to focus on, to tell you or to explain to you how we are going to go about using the ed and the ing adjective. Okay, because we have rules, or we have certain situation where we can use frustrated and when can we use frustrating. Okay, not interchangeably. Okay, there are situations where these things can be used, should be used correctly. Okay, yeah, adjective. When do we add or when do we use ed or the ing? For example, confused. Whether you want to use confused or whether you want to use confusing. Which one? Which one should be correct? All right. Okay, this is when good rules. Okay, the terms of the rule that you should remember. Okay, adjective with the ed. Okay, adjectives and ed are used to describe an emotion or a feeling. Okay, so when you want to use adjective the ed, for example, frustrated, confused, terrified, amused, those words. Okay, so we use that adjective with the ed if you want to describe an emotion or a feeling. Okay, you want to describe an emotion or feeling. For example, you can say, I am confused. Okay, I am confused. Okay, let us look these two examples. What I meant by the ed, adjective with ed, describe an emotion or a feeling. Let us look at these two examples. What I meant by that. Okay, we were excited about the trip. We were excited about the trip. We don't say we were exciting about the trip. Okay, we don't say we were exciting about the trip because we were excited about the trip, because that tells the emotion or the feeling of the persons. We. Because it tells you the emotion or the feeling of the person. In this case, we have we. Okay, it tells that the person's feeling, the we feeling. How do you feel? How that person feel? How do we feeling? Okay, excited. Okay, so remember, when you want to use the ed, it means that it has to be something got to do with describing the feeling. Yeah, we were excited about the trip. Not we were exciting. Okay, we were excited about the trip. And the second picture, he was surprised when he saw the bill. Why surprised? Why ed? Why not ing? Why not he was surprising? Because the word surprise here, there, we use surprise because we want to describe the he feeling. Okay, the person, like in the picture, the person who are holding the bill. Okay, who are holding the bill. Okay, we want to describe that person's feeling. We want to describe that he is surprised. So he was surprised when he saw the bill. Okay, he was surprised when he saw the bill. So ed, you have to remember this. Okay, so when you want to write sentences or you want to use it in your essay, when you do your essay, so remember. So when you want to use the ed adjective with the ed, so it has to describe an emotion or a feeling. Okay. The next one, adjective with the ing. Okay, adjective with the ing. Things like confusing, terrifying, exciting, things like that, right? Okay, so an adjective that ends in ing is used to describe the characteristics of something. Ciri-ciri. Okay, we want to describe the ciri-ciri of the thing that we are describing. Remember the function of an adjective. Okay, remember the function of an adjective is to describe a noun. Okay, to describe a noun, to qualify a noun, to tell you more about the noun. So for example here, just now, excited. Okay, the word excited. Okay, so the word excited tells you more about we there. Okay, it tells you more about the word we here. It tells you more about we. So we know that they are excited. Okay, we know that they are excited, right? So so you have to remember as well the function of adjective too. The adjective is to describe or modify a noun, tells you more about a noun. So this particular adjective, excited here, okay, it tells about the we feeling, how we feels. So we use excited. Cannot be exciting because the word with the ed, we describe emotion or feeling. Okay, so hopefully you so far you can understand what I'm trying to tell you. What's the difference between the ed and the ing? Okay, now the ing. Okay, an adjective that ends in ing is used to describe the characteristics of something. Okay, it can be a person, a place, or a situation. Okay, it can be a place, a person, a place, or a situation. Okay, so characteristic. Ing tells you more about a thing's characteristics, a noun's characteristics. So we use the ing. If ed is more on the feeling, okay, feeling of that particular noun. Okay, usually would be humans or animals, because animals can also have feelings. See, we have a picture of books, yeah? So we say, these books are interesting. So we use the ing. Okay, these books are interesting. We don't say these books are interested, because we are not talking about the book's feeling. We are talking about the book's characteristics. Okay, remember when we use ing, meaning that we have to use it with the characteristics of a person, of a place, or a situation. So here we have a books. Okay, we have books. So these books are interesting. Okay, these books are interesting. We don't say these books are interested. Okay, because we are talking about the book's characteristics. Okay, next one. Okay. The animal show was amazing. We are describing the animal show characteristic. What's the characteristics? What's the adjective you're going to use here? So amazing, ing, with the ing. The animal show was amazing. Okay, so that's the key. I think the key rules are the key rules that you should remember when it comes to adjective with the ed and the ing. So if you're confused whether I'm going to use exciting ka, excited ka, so you remember the rules here. If you want to talk about feeling, you use excited. If you want to talk about the characteristics of a person ka, a place or a situation, so you use exciting with the ing. So inshallah, if you are able to remember these two rules that I've mentioned here, inshallah you will be fine. Okay, just a bit of test here for what I've mentioned just now. Okay, A and B. Which one is correct? Which one? I felt embarrassed or I felt embarrassing? Yeah, somebody said A. Someone, some of the students said A. Yes, the answer is A. Correct. Okay. Why? Because it describes feeling, right? Okay, it describes feeling. It describes the feeling. This person. Describe the feeling of I. I is a noun. So describe that person's feeling. So I felt embarrassed. Okay, not talking about the person's characteristics. Okay, we are not talking about that person's characteristics. So it should be with the ed. Okay, I felt embarrassed. Not I felt embarrassing. I felt embarrassed. Okay. This one. Like just now. Okay. This is very easy, like what we have in the example just now. Okay, of course the answer should be B. This book is interesting because now we are talking about the characteristic of the book. The book is interesting. It cannot be this book is interested, because books doesn't have feeling, right? Book is a thing. It doesn't have feeling, so it cannot be the book is interested. You might be interested in the book. Okay, you might be interested in the book. Okay, because the book is interesting, right? So with the ing, we talk about the characteristics of a place or a noun. A place, a person, or a situation. So in this case, this is a thing here, the book. So the book is interesting. Okay. Another. This is just examples. Okay. Examples of the common ed and the ing adjective that we commonly found. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you how we supposed to use them, just like what I've mentioned earlier. Okay, so we have the word bored versus boring. Okay, so we often say, okay, aku boring lah hari ni. Aku boring lah hari ni. Is that correct? If you say aku boring lah hari ni, is it correct if you say that? So you have to ask yourself, do you want to describe your characteristic, okay, or you want to talk about your feeling? Okay, whether you want to talk about your characteristic or your feeling. If you say I am boring, maksudnya you're talking about your characteristic. Awak ni memang seorang yang membosankan. Okay, but if you say I am bored, I am bored, meaning that you're talking about your feeling yang rasa bosan tu. So when you want to say I am boring, padahal you want to talk about your feeling, so you have to say I am bored. I am bored today. Okay, I am bored today. But is it wrong to say I am boring? Is it wrong? Tak salah lah. It's not wrong. Okay, you want to say I am boring, it's not wrong. So you have to look at the situation. If you say I am boring, maksudnya you are telling people that you are a boring person. Awak ni seorang yang membosankan. If that's what you want to tell people. But if you want to talk about your feeling, okay, so you will say I am bored. Okay, so example given here, he is so boring. Because we use the ing because we want to describe these he characteristics. So kita katalah he is so boring, kan? But if you want to talk about your feeling, so we use bored. Describe the feeling I here. I feel bored talking to him. Okay, I feel bored talking to him. Right? So I hope it's clear. He is so boring. It means he is not an interesting person. You don't feel like want to talk to him. The person's characteristics. Okay. The next example, confused versus confusing. Sama juga. Okay. The instruction is so confusing. The instruction is so confusing. Okay, we don't say the instruction is so confused because we are not talking about the instruction's feeling. Instruction doesn't have feeling. Okay, the instruction is so confusing. Okay, the instruction is so confusing because we are talking about the instruction's characteristics, which is mengelirukan. Okay, mengelirukan. I'm so confused now. I'm so confused now because the instruction is so confusing. Okay, I am so confused now. Okay, we use the ed because we talk about, we explain the I feeling. Okay, we talk about the I feeling. How does I feel? So confused. Tak boleh kata I'm so confusing. You have to say I am so confused because it talks about feeling. Okay, yang atas ni, the instruction, we are talking about the instructions characteristic. So, confusing. Okay. So, these are some other examples of the ED and the ING. Annoyed. Okay, annoyed. And then, annoying. So, you can see, you can compare. When we talk about ED, all about feeling. All about feeling. And ING all about characteristic. Okay, all about characteristics. Okay. So, for example, annoyed. Sorry, annoyed. The sound annoyed me. So, your feeling, how you feel? Awak rasa apa? Awak rasa geram, awak rasa marah. Okay, that's your feeling. So, annoyed with the ED. The sound is so annoying. Okay, the sound is so annoying. Now we're talking about the sounds characteristic, which is so annoying. Maybe kita dengar bingit telinga kan. So annoying. The sound is so annoying. So with the ING. Okay, disappointed. With the ED. Also feeling. My dad disappointed to see my result. My dad was disappointed to see my result. It tells you the dad's feeling. It talks about the dad's feeling. Disappointed, kecewa. Okay. My result was disappointing. Result saya mengecewakan. Okay, we use the ING. Right. Because now we are talking about the characteristics of the result. Ciri-ciri result tu. Apa ciri-ciri dia? Mengecewakan. Mungkin when the dad look at the result slip, not as what the dad expected. Okay, maybe many C's ke, many D's ke, few fails ke, thing like that. So disappointing. So the result is disappointing, was disappointing. So because we use disappointing because it talks about the characteristics of the result. We use disappointed here because it talks about the dad's feeling. Okay, interested. I'm interested to join the workshop. Berminat. Your feeling. Berminat. Or feeling. I'm interested to join the workshop. The workshop looks interesting. ING, because we're talking about the characteristic of the workshop, which is interesting, menarik. Yang ni interested, berminat, feeling. Okay, our feeling. I'm interested to join the workshop. Yang ni pula, the workshop looks interesting, menarik. Kalau menarik tu means the characteristic lah, ciri-ciri kepada workshop tu. Apa yang ada pada workshop tu that make you feel interested to join. Okay. Okay, next one. Embarrassed. Okay, embarrassed. I felt so, macam tadi lah, okay, this one, just like the one that I've shown earlier, okay. Embarrassing, it was embarrassing to fall off the stage in front of everyone, memalukan. Okay, the characteristic of falling off the stage, itu embarrassing. So we are not talking about the feeling here. So that's why we use the ING. Okay, next. Tired. It makes me feel tired. It makes me feel tired. Your feeling. Letih. Okay, it makes me feel tired. Saya rasa letih. So your feeling. So when feeling, you use the ED. Doing laundry is so tiring. Meletihkan. Okay, doing laundry is so tiring. Meletihkan. Doing maksudnya ialah buat laundry. Okay, do laundry. Meletihkan. Okay. Meletihkan, the word tiring ni, it tells you more about doing the laundry, the characteristics of doing laundry. So we use the NG. Okay, so the key rules here is to remember what we use ED for and what we use the ING for. Always remember that. Okay, like I said, if you can remember that, inshallah, you will be able to know which one is which one to use in which situation, right? Okay, Okay, time to test yourself again. Just like we have done earlier. Okay. John was getting by her questions. Her questions were, you have blank here. So what do you think would be the answer for the first one? For the first blank. The first blank. What should be the answer for the first blank? John was getting. So is the answer should be with the ing or with the ed here? Okay, so think. Does it talk about the feeling or does it talk about the characteristics? Okay, John was getting by her questions. Her questions were. So John was getting. So what is that? Is it talk about the characteristic or the feeling? Yes. John was getting. Yes, the first one talks about feeling, right? Okay, it talks about feeling. So John was getting. Okay, the word here is irritated and irritating. The words given, the verb given is, the adjective given is irritated and irritating. So number one should be, what's the answer? What's the answer? Yeah, John was getting irritated. Okay, correct. Siapa tu? Nur Fatihah. Nur Fatihah. Okay. Okay, good. Irritated. John was getting irritated by her question. Maksudnya start rasa apa? Rasa macam geram, rasa menyampah. Okay, irritated. John was getting irritated by her questions. Because it talks about John's feeling. Okay, it talks about John's feeling. Okay, so of course the second one would be irritating. Her questions were irritating because talks about the question. Give the characteristics of the question. So become ing. Okay. Okay, next one. So we have surprise versus surprising. Okay, I would like someone to answer this one. Can we have answers, please? Number one and number two. So what should be number one? What should be the answer for number one? What should be the answer for number two? Anybody would like to answer? I was somewhat. What is that? I was somewhat. So got to do with the feeling, right? Saya rasa apa? Agak apa? I was somewhat feeling. So feeling means surprise. Okay, surprise. Yeah, correct. Surprise. Of course, the second one would be surprising. Okay, his presence to the party was surprising because he's talking about the characteristic of his presence at the party. So surprising. Okay, so I think it's, even though it might be confusing, okay, but if you can remember, like what I said just now, the ed is used with what? The ing we use with we remember the ed used with the feeling, and the ing we use for characteristics. Inshallah, you will be able to find the correct answer. You will be able to write correct adjective in your sentences. Okay. Disgusted versus disgusting. Okay, disgusted versus disgusting. Okay. Which one? Number one and number two. Number one? Number one. What's the answer for number one? Somebody said disgusting. Okay. Number one, somebody said disgusting. Okay. Someone said disgusted. Okay, number one, disgusted. Correct? Is it correct? Is it correct? Disgusted for number one? Okay, you look. You look at the sentence and see what actually the adjective is going to describe. What actually is going to describe? It's going to describe. I couldn't stand to look at his. You're going to describe tools, right? Okay, you're going to describe. Yes, because it's going to describe tooth. Kalau tooth maksudnya tooth ada feeling tak? Tak ada feeling kan? Tooth no feeling. Kita yang ada feeling. Okay, so the answer should be disgusting. Correct. Okay, disgusting lah because dia cerita pasal tooth ni. It talks about the tooth, the characteristic of the tooth. Disgusting tooth. Tak tahulah, tak bergigi berapa hari, tak tahulah. Okay. Okay, the news left her feeling disgusted. Okay, the news left her feeling disgusted. Okay, so you can check in your dictionary or you can use Google actually to look at the meaning of this word. Okay, these are the common word we often use, right? So the news left her feeling disgusted. Disgusted, kita guna ed because talk about the feeling here. Okay, it tells you more about the feeling. So feeling disgusted cannot be feeling disgusting. Okay, cannot be feeling disgusting. Feeling disgusted, disgusting tooth because talk about the characteristic of the tooth. Okay. Okay, a lot of exercises, because what I'm going to tell ni just a very a small, or not to say small, just a small part of an adjective. So I reinforce your understanding by giving these kind of questions. Okay, so the puppet look frightening. Okay, because it tells you the characteristic of the puppet. Okay, the characteristic puppet, patung tu nampak menakutkan, frightening. Okay, menakutkan. Okay, so the frightened child cried loudly. The frightened child, the child give you the characteristic. I mean, it tells you more about the child. The child's feeling frightened, rasa takut. And the frightened child cried loudly. Because here we use ed because it tells the feeling of the child, how the child feel. The child feel frightened. And this one frightening because it talks about the characteristics of the puppet. Puppet tu nampak menakutkan. Patung tu nampak menakutkan. Okay, so the child feel frightened. The frightened child cried loudly. Right? Okay, excited versus exciting. Okay, this one I think you have started to get very confident now. Okay, I'm sure that some of you have got the rentak already. Okay, so you are very confident now. All right, so what's the answer for number 1? Yes, very good. So we have Chelsea here. Okay, the children were excited. Yes, correct. The children were excited to watch the show because it tells you the feeling of the children. Very excited. Rasa apa? Teruja. Kanak-kanak itu berasa teruja to watch the show. Because that is the most exciting movie I have ever watched. Exciting movie. It tells you the characteristics of the movie. Exciting. Exciting maksudnya apa? Mengujakan lah. Right? Ni kita rasa teruja. We feel teruja because the movie is mengujakan. Right? Okay. Okay. Worried versus worrying. Okay. Come on. Number 1. Number 1. What's the answer for number 1? His repeated absent is what? Yes? Worrying. Yes, very good. This is Mariam. Mariam. Okay. His repeated absent is worrying. Because it tells about the absent. The characteristic of the absent is repeated. Absent tells you more about the absent here. So worrying. Okay, his repeated absent is worrying. Maksudnya worry. What is worry? Okay, never mind. All right. Your friends were very worried. Okay. Your friends were very worried because the word worried here with the ed, it describes the feeling of the of the friends. Okay, your friends were very worried about you. Okay. Frustrated versus frustrating. Frustrated versus frustrating. Okay. So number one. So no, okay, not number one. Number two. What's the answer for number two? What's the answer for number two? Not number one. Number two. Anybody? Number two. I found the delay something. Okay, I want the answer for number two. He was what? When things went wrong. Think again. He was when things went wrong. So does it talks about the characteristics, or does it talks about the feelings of the person? Yeah, correct. Somebody answer. Okay, good. Thank you, Chu Jin Zuan. Okay, if I pronounce your name correctly. Okay, yes, correct. Okay, he was frustrated when things went wrong because it's feelings. It talks about your feeling, about the person's feelings. Okay, I found the delays intensely frustrating. It talks about the characteristics of the delay. Okay, frustrating. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of questions here to reinforce your understanding. Okay, we have terrified versus terrifying here. Terrified versus terrifying. Okay, number one, he looked so, I thought he had seen a ghost. He looked so, so is that feeling or characteristics? Is that feeling or characteristics? He looked so, that's characteristic. We can expect that actually they're talking about the characteristics of the person. So he looks so what? So if it is characteristic, so the answer should be? The answer should be? Yes. Okay. Sorry. He looked so terrified. I thought he'd seen a ghost. Okay. So he looked so terrified. So a feeling, sorry. A feeling as well. Okay. He described a feeling. He looked so terrified. I thought he had seen a ghost. It was a truly terrifying experience to jump off the cliff. Okay, because this one ing because talk about the characteristics of the experience, terrifying. So he looked so terrified. I thought he had seen a ghost. Okay, that person's feeling as well. And then it was a truly terrifying experience to jump off the cliff. Okay. Okay. Are you? Number one, are you in learning guitar? Number two, I find her ideas really what? Okay. So, number one would be, are you interested in learning guitar? Are you interested? Maksudnya, adakah awak berminat? So, when we say berminat, meaning something got to do with our feeling. I find her ideas really interesting. So, characteristics of a noun, characteristics of the ideas, which is interesting. Okay, I think it's the last one for this one. I am very tired versus tiring. Okay, tired versus tiring. I am very tired. Okay, you're feeling with that long walk, and the journey was extremely tiring. Okay. So hopefully by now you can already grasp the idea of when to use the ed and when to use the ing. The key element is the two key elements: ed for the feeling, ing for the characteristics. Okay, another one. Okay, this is the last few slides already. Okay, okay, which is which? Get back to my title. Which is which? Okay, the word given here, annoy. Okay, the word is given here, annoy. Okay, so what do you think would be the first answer for the first blank and what would be the answer for the second blank. I felt by the group of Mat Rempit. The way they rode their motorbike was really what? Okay, so the key here, you can see felt. Kan? I felt. So I felt annoyed. Very good. Thank you very much. Annoyed. Okay, I felt annoyed. Rasa marah, rasa geram. Kan? Rasa marah, rasa geram. Okay, annoyed. Because it's feeling. Alright? And then, the way they rode their motorbike was really annoying. Menyebabkan kita rasa geram, kita rasa marah, annoying. The characteristics of the way they rode their motorbikes, annoying. Annoying ni actually, it describes the characteristic of the way they rode their motorbikes. That's why we use the ing here. I felt annoyed. The way they rode their motorbike was really annoying. Okay. The word here, fascinate. Okay, the word is fascinate, terpesona. Okay, fascinate, terpesona. So I am fascinated. Okay, because feeling kan, I am fascinated. Looking at the fascinating insect. Saya rasa terpesona tengok insect yang mempersonakan. I am fascinated looking at the fascinating insects. Okay. All right. The word is exhaust. Okay, the word is exhaust. Okay, so I felt kita boleh nampak when we can see here because when we want to talk about feeling, usually we should be able to guess. If we should be able to guess what's the sentence actually, is it about feeling or about characteristic? For example, here we have the word felt here. Okay, so we can very sure that this is talking about feeling. Okay, it talks about feeling. So I felt extremely exhausted. Okay, after I finished doing the never-ending and exhausting house chores, I feel extremely exhausted. I feel extremely penat. Okay, after I finished doing the never-ending and exhausting, memenatkan. Okay, saya rasa penat sebab house chores tu memenatkan. So exhausted and exhausting. I feel exhausted because the household chores is never ending. So it makes you feel, the characteristic of the house chore is exhausting. Okay, the character, because the word exhausting here talks about the characteristics of the house chores, which is never ending. Okay. I am disgusted. Okay, by the smell of the disgusting public toilet. So disgusted, you feel disgusting because talk about the characteristic of the public toilet. So we use the ing here. Okay, we use the ing. Okay, for characteristic, like I said just now, and this is for feeling. Okay, for feeling. All right. Okay, I think I have a few more. Okay, the clowns' performances at the party were actually the clowns' performances at the party. The word amuse. Okay, this one I would like somebody to answer. The first one, if you know the first blank, meaning the second blank would be the other one. Okay, okay, what's the first blank would be? The clowns' performances at the party actually were, not was, were. Yes, somebody says amusing. Correct. You got it already. Yes, amusing. The clown's performances, because we talk about performances, the characteristics. Okay, so amusing. So the kids were totally amused. Okay, rasa apa? Rasa seronok lah. Okay, amused by them. Okay, I am. Okay, the word inspire. The word inspire here. So I am. Okay, I am inspired. Okay, after listening to your inspiring life story, said Adam to Dina. Okay. Okay, that's the end of our lesson today. Okay, so I'm really hoping from the exercises that I have from the exercises that I have shown to you that we have gone through together. So I'm really hoping that you have better understanding now on how to use these particular adjectives. Okay, I'm sure that many of you won't have problem to use the common adjective, the normal adjective like big, small, jovial. I mean, that one is no problem. But like I said, some of you might have problem or confused or not so sure which one to use when it comes to the ed and the ing adjective. So I'm really hoping that within this short period of time, the class or the lesson that I've given you, you have better understanding now. You know how to use the ed and the ing adjectives better in your writing or in your daily conversation. So I'm really hoping that you can use it more confidently now. You can use it correctly in your daily conversation and in your writing. So I really hope that this particular lesson, even though just I've chosen a very small part of grammar from the vast grammar item, I've chosen just a small part, but I hope that it can be something that can benefit all of you. With that, thank you very much for whoever being with me today. Thank you very much. That's all.